Lily Casey's hard, eventful, and treacherous life started in 1901 in a dugout in West Texas. Her childhood was spent on a ranch in barren Southwest Plains, wrangling and breaking wild horses. Her physically handicapped father gave her her education so that by the age of 15, she took a lonely 500-mile trips on Patches a horse to her first job as a school teacher with only an 8th grade education. This was only the beginning of the self-reliant and ambitious journey of Lily Casey. Despite the oppression against women of the day, Lily's strong will gave her the initiative to work her way through college, get a degree, overcome an adulterous relationship, run a 100,000-acre ranch and a family, survive the Dust Bowl, stay afloat during the Great Depression, keep pursuing a career as a teacher, and even take flight lessons. The book Half-Broke Horses by Jeanette Walls is a true-life novel about this amazing woman.
Half-Broke Horses addressed how Lily broke through the stereotypical roles women felt obligated to fulfill in the early 20th century. In her late teens to early 20s, she did not go the traditional route by searching for a husband. Instead, she spent many years working not only to afford school, but to obtain her degree and establish a professional position as a teacher. When Lily finally decided to settle down and raise a family in her later years, she and her husband ran the ranch hand in hand as equal partners. During the Great Depression, when most women would have given up, Lily helped her family stay afloat by not only running the ranch with her husband and being a school teacher, but by being a cook, janitor, and bus driver for the same school. All of Lily's achievements were not typical over time. It took an extremely strong woman then and an extremely strong woman now to break this mold. Over 100 years after Lily's birth, women still have hardships against the stereotypes forced upon them in the workplace, as well as in their relationships.
I think that when children are infants, women, especially women who give childbirth, do have a particular role in raising those children, especially if they're nursing them and caring for them in that way. So that is a biological factor. But certainly, for almost all duties that have to do with childbearing, there's no biological reason a man and woman can't share the duties equally. Or when it comes to taking family leave, there's no reason that men can't take it just like women do when they have children, but they don't. And in fact, men are frowned upon when they do take it. Often that's why they don't. So obviously, while there is a very small, tiny bit that maybe is biological when you're talking about infants, obviously a good share of it is stereotype. So here's just a little information about what the workforce looks like now. 60% of women over age 16 are in the workforce, 73% of men. So there's still fewer women than men, but by far the majority of women are in the workforce. Unfortunately, women still now are only making about 78 cents for every dollar that men make. So for equal work, if a man gets paid $1, the woman is making 78 cents. That's still obviously not fair, and obviously the function of discrimination in the workplace. If you look at Fortune 500 CEOs, only 3% are women, even though now 60% of all women are in the workforce, and the workforce is practically 50-50 men and women at this point. Only 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs are women. The number of women on boards of directors is very low. The number of women in upper management is very low. We only had the first woman Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. That was in, I think, 2007. So even in politics, women aren't represented anywhere near 50%, even though they're 50% of the population. So the good news is we have made progress. We have female Secretary of States. We had females running for office. We have females in high positions in government. So we have made progress, but there's still not parity. And so, I won't be satisfied until. Well, then, so the question is raised, why? Why are there only 3% of women in CEOs of Fortune 500 companies? Why is this disparity? And I think part of it is, that sort of good old boys network. There was a certain set of characteristics, a certain personality type, a certain way of dealing with people, a certain way of communicating that has been the traditional way to act in business. And it is true that men and women have different communication styles, different ways of interpersonal skills, different ways of sharing power, and I think that right now the women that have succeeded on the whole have been more successful playing by the men's rules as opposed to the rules adapting to the skills that women bring into the workforce. So I think as time goes on, we will see the nature of what skills are valued changing to allow for some of the other personality traits, the other ways of working with people, the other compromises, the other soft skills that women bring that are not weak. They're just different.